Welcome to the Flex Forward podcast, where grit meets growth. With your host, Nick Espinette, bringing you stories of resilience, reinvention, and the real climb to success.
All right, everyone. Welcome to the Flex Forward podcast. Today, we're joined by Kevin Parker. Kevin is in business development. He also owns a DME, or durable medical supply company. He's a retired chiropractor, recovering chiropractor, how you would saw that, but has a lot of stuff going on. He's got a great journey. I'm going to let him give more details about himself and about what he does on a regular basis in his company. Kevin, welcome to the Flex Forward podcast. I'm so glad to have you. If you can just give an introduction to our listeners, a little more detail about what it is you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for having me, Nick. I appreciate your time. So my journey was got into healthcare in 2005. I was a licensed chiropractor, ran a practice till 2010. While I was practicing, I was doing a lot of medical equipment with my patients, and I realized really quick there's a better future in flexibility in the medical equipment world versus being tied to my clinic all day. So, not the smartest guy in the world, but I realized really quick I like the flexibility and sold my practice. And then over 9 years, built a medical equipment company, had 24 employees, did a lot of post-op and rehabilitation and recovery. And after 9 years of doing that, I split with my partner, went into the corporate world where I did a lot of surgery center work as a vice president and sales leadership, got into it with a couple other companies. And then I realized in the corporate world just how bad my reps and my distributors were being treated pay-wise by the corporate world. And so part of my mission, what I do now is I bring distributors in from around the country. My goal is to make them, financially a rewarding this career as possible. And so we pay out 40% of our profit goes directly to our team.
Nice.
We're very aggressive with what we do. So I'm 100%. My passion is really helping distributors build wealth, help patients, obviously. But it's just a great opportunity for me to give back to other distributors like I was when I started.
Nice. What a great story and a journey that you've had in that medical sales world. I'm sure there's a lot of competition in whatever device it is. What's something that sets you and your product and your team apart? Now, you just talked about
Yeah.
paying better as a company, but what about on a more detailed level with the product or and you?
Yeah, so it's a great point. A lot of products are created equal. I can't go into some place and say this product in particular is better than this one because really a lot of what we do, there's similar products in the
Mm-hmm.
market. And so my strategy is I'm one of those leaders from the bottom. My whole philosophy is I want to be at the bottom. My job is to lift my team on my shoulders. I don't like titles. I don't like people when I go in the field calling me a boss or a manager. I'm a colleague. And so I think as I've built that reputation as someone who truly does put them first, that just draws more people
Nice.
to us. And so it's just a philosophy and a culture that we've tried to build. And I think any of my distributors you'd ever talk to would tell you that that's what we live every day.
Nice. Is there something that you feel comes easier to you that others may find challenging?
Just relationships. I love to get out and talk to people, and so even being the quote unquote owner of the company, I love getting out in the field. I still meet with doctors. I still meet with clinics. I travel going to Corpus Christi in a couple weeks to work with the distributor. Anytime I can get in the field, I absolutely love it. It's just an opportunity for me to mentor and give back to the things I've learned and maybe teach them some things that I did early on that I'd recommend they don't do.
Uh,
And so for me, it really is. I love the boots on the ground analogy, just being out, understanding the environment, understanding the pushback they get, understanding the successes they're having and why they're having them. And so, that's what I'm all about.
that's awesome. And giving back, I've heard you say that a couple of times, just knowing that people in front of you that helped lift you up and build you up, and now you're trying to help other people who are newer or less experienced in this world. I mean, I think that goes so far. I mean, not for a selfish reason, but just it's so helpful because I think I hear that a lot on my podcast. People that are successful have mentors, and mentors. Some of them do it for money. Some of them do it. It's part of their team, but they are so helpful to have a mentor, somebody who has already walked that path and you said something also that was show them what not to do. That's just as important as showing them what to do to keep from making those steps or making those same trip ups. So
Yeah,
important.
absolutely. Yeah,
Good
it's
stuff.
and for me too, part of that mentoring is I encourage my distributors to embrace the same kind of model. Find other people now that you can pay it forward to bring under you that you can mentor now. And so it really is a pay it forward. And one of my top distributors in Texas, she's done an amazing job. She started by herself. Now she has three different reps under her. And
Wow.
so it's kind of cool to watch the little effect that I have on them become a bigger effect with what they can do with other people. So it's
Oh,
neat to watch.
so awesome. And I think it sounds like being a good example. You're setting the standard and I don't know if expectations is the right word, but just, how a great way, a great role model.
Yeah, and one of the things that's really interesting, that's very anti-corporate. One thing I learned in the corporate world was leading big teams was Sunday night. Every rep hated Sunday night because Sunday night was the beginning of a numbers game. So Monday morning when they started work, it was what do I have to do this week to keep my job?
Uh,
And so part of what we do, and it's kind of contradictory to what your thought process would be, especially when you deal with HR and things like that. But we started a program where there's no goals, no quotas. And so it sounds kind of crazy, but for us, I wanted people on our team around the country. I want Sunday night to be a peaceful night. I want it to be a night you have dinner with the family, or a significant other, whatever you have. Enjoy the night and don't stress about the numbers. We only bring top caliber people into our program. And so for us, it is we really want these people to really embrace the idea of work to live, not the other way
nice.
around. And so we got rid of quotas, and we're like, you know what? If you're going to be part of our team, we want you to be the hunter out there. We want you to be aggressive. We want you to build your own dream. Build, you're the one ultimately responsible to live the life you want. We're going to give you the tools, the products, the marketing material, everything you need. We're going to provide for you, but it's up to you to go do it. And so a lot of people, I think it's refreshing when they come into this to see that, again, Sunday nights, you don't have to stress about what am I going to put in my CRM? Am I just going to put a bunch of fluff in there? It's truly for their benefit to record that stuff. But for us, and our reps have exploded with that philosophy without the pressure.
Well, that's so awesome because I think that needing to go out and that commission mindset. I think every job should be on a commission of some sort if you get set it up, because then you might make 5% of the highest earner, but if that 5% is what the company needs and it gets you, and now this is extreme, it gets you what you need. Good.
Yeah.
Now if somebody else wants to really get out and hustle, they're going to make 95% more. Well, that's probably going to bring your 5% earner like, wow, that guy's getting a better car or he gets to go to a better restaurant or a better vacation, whatever motivates somebody. Maybe I should put in or replicate what that top performer's doing. So that I mean, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it builds a healthy competition. To your
Sure.
point, it's they see somebody buy a house or they see somebody buy another car or take this exotic trip to Europe, whatever it is. And they see that and there's an internal competition and drive. But the cool thing with what we've been building is everybody gets along with everybody. No matter if they're in California or Florida, they can pick up the phone and call a teammate and talk to them. Hey, have you ran into this situation? And so it's a healthy competition, but yeah, absolutely. I think a big driver is self-motivation, number one, but number two is what are the people doing around me? What is making them successful versus what I'm doing?
Yeah, good stuff. Well, if someone's listening and wants to get better at doing something, have you come across any tips or tricks or podcasts, books, anything that you would recommend?
I'm a huge Dale Carnegie disciple, so I tell everybody, and I'm probably the millionth person to recommend it. But how to win friends and influence people is the gospel in sales to me, and it's not just sales; it's relationships.
Hmm.
And so I'm a big Dale Carnegie, John Maxwell guy. I love the leadership philosophy of putting others before self, and so anybody out there, especially in medical device sales or pharmaceutical sales, even like just understanding the sales process of it doesn't matter what you're selling or how hard you want to push it. It's how's the opposing party, how do they receive it? what does it match a need, or do they not even have a need? And
Mhm.
so it's kind of shaping the conversation. Dale Carnegie's so good through all of his books, but it's really shaping the mindset of meeting their need, and not telling them what you want out of the deal, but really filling something, a gap that they may have in their business. And that's really what it boils down to.
No, and that's good advice. Not only like I think you touch on it, not only in sales, but in a relationship or meeting somebody. It doesn't have to be selling a widget to somebody. It can just be, you know, everyday relationships with people to help serve others and make them feel wanted, and
Yeah.
a whole lot of different avenues of life that holds. Probably most avenues, most interactions in life.
Yeah, yeah. I tell people an example from that book is, my older son now, he's almost out of high school now, but we were in Florida years ago on vacation. I just finished reading the book and I could not get Landon to eat his chicken. And so I just finished reading the book on the airplane. We go to eat at this place in South Florida and Landon will not eat. And he's 3 years old, a typical kid pushing back. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put this principle into play and let's see if it works. And so I started telling Landon, he always loved to wrestle. And so I said, man, you know what, Landon? I don't want you to eat the chicken. That's going to give you a lot of strength. And if you have strength, you're going to beat me wrestling. And you could slowly see the wheels start to turn. And so I grabbed across the table, I pulled this chicken towards me, and he slowly reached out and started. I said, no, 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 you missed your chance. I'm going to eat the chicken. I'm taking you down. We say downtown Chinatown. So I'm going to take you down. We get back to the place. I'm taking you down. And he grabbed that plate as fast as he could, pulled it, and he gobbled all of his chicken up. And so, of
That's
course, we
awesome.
got we got back to the place. I let him beat me. He felt great, but it was really just putting that book into practice. It
No,
was getting him the result that I wanted, but it was his decision to do it, and he became motivated to eat the chicken so he could beat me, and that's what he wanted.
that's awesome. What a great story. Very good stuff. Well, what's one of the biggest challenges you've had to overcome in your career or your journey from over the last decade or so?
There's a lot of challenges. Healthcare obviously has changed a lot. So it's pivoted. My upbringing really in the industry was major medical, Blue Cross United, Aetna. The last 10 years, when healthcare really changed, 2016 or so, made a pretty strong pivot over to a more of the, I'd say, where patients don't have a patient responsibility to pay. So we're really heavy in the VA hospitals. We love working with veterans. We get great products on veterans, keep them off narcotics and opioids. We do some work comp. We do personal injury. We try to get in places now that don't require all the crazy pre-authorizations and the games that get played. And so it's caused a real pivot shift for me the last 10 years to really find the verticals in healthcare. I don't want to say that are easier, but they're patient friendly. Whereas, United, Blue Cross, Aetna, now it's deny, deny, deny.
Mhm.
And so you're fighting an uphill battle. Even when they approve products, they will still not pay for them. And so we don't have that issue with the veterans, thankfully. The prosthetics departments are really good about getting good products on their veterans to help them. And so we have a team that's really, really passionate about helping the veterans of our country. And it's a huge mission of ours. Absolutely love doing that. But really the biggest challenge has been the landscape as it's changed the last 10 years really has caused a change for all device and equipment type companies.
I can imagine. I actually went to school to be a physical therapist and did that for about 20 years, but have been in commercial real estate for a little over 10 years now. So similar,
Okay,
like
yeah.
it got to where the insurance was really dictating our treatments more than my training. So, and just
Yeah.
looking for some different stuff. So I've had a somewhat similar journey, but not the exact path, but
Yeah.
some of the
And
same.
that's what happens. You have surgeons we've worked with that literally will say, they can prove on an MRI there's a tear. And the insurance company will say, no, no surgery. And they can literally objectively show by measurement the tear, and the insurance companies still fight it. And so it's like, it's practicing medicine without a license, is what I tell
Hmm.
people with healthcare. It really is. And it's a shame, because so many patients out there are suffering. And it's like, they're making their money and the profits are through the roof. And yet people like myself and you are the ones with, I don't know your situation, but our insurance gets worse and worse every year. Less coverage every year, higher patient responsibility every year. And so it is driving a lot of doctors, like you say, PT and across the board. There's a lot of people looking for other things to do and other ancillary income streams
Hmm.
because you're letting somebody else essentially dictate your financial future.
No, for sure. And that's kind of how I ended up in my spot is I was, you know, as a PT, I had to put in the hours and they were getting more to get paid and the hours were getting more and more frustrated. I was like, well, how about the insurance company just tells me what to do with the patient and I'll go out because that's if we in the end we will need to get paid, but I'm it was all about the way we especially you think electronic documentation was going to help. I think that just gave them a better way to scrutinize your what you were doing. I'm like, I'm doing the right thing with the patient, and now you're getting on to me because I'm not writing it outright and within in this paragraph. So it just got more and more frustrating. So I started looking for other outside uh, ways to produce money, and that's where I got into commercial real estate, just thinking I was going to invest, but eventually got into it more on my own. So have you? Do you? I think you started your own business. Do you do any outside business or like anything to create passive income or mailbox money?
I really keep diversified. Personal investing, obviously, I do. But we really try to differentiate ourselves by being in different payer verticals. So we can have different revenue streams. One dries up, you've got three or four more going. Make sure we have good product mixes all the time. But for myself personally, it's just outside investing. To stay diversified and liquid for my
Yeah.
family as well.
Yeah, keeping things moving. Well, great. As we're wrapping up the interview, do you have any exciting plans or initiatives in the next 6 to 12 months?
You know, uh, I wish I could say it a lot of exciting. I coach travel baseball, so my summer's really full with my high school guys. So I'm on the road a lot in the summertime. But
Yeah.
we've got some new products we're looking at, Q1 next year that are going through the FDA cycle right now. But we're just going to keep pushing forward, keep bringing great people to the team, and one thing I wanted to address with your point about the notes with doctors and providers. One of the biggest issues right now, and you're well aware of it, is the AI and the scrubbing they're doing with AI now. A doctor's notes can just miss a few words here or there, and AI runs through it and will deny stuff. And so, as you know, just the whole AI structure now is changing everything. It's literally a game changer both ways because now you have providers trying to figure out how to manipulate AI the best they can,
Sure.
and then you have the insurance sides that's creating their AI with their deal trying to find any way they can deny, whether it's one word or a sentence, to invalidate an order. And so it
100%.
is
Yeah, that was
it
happening 10, 12 years ago before they were just looking for certain things. Now AI can get down to a period missing, something as simple
and
as, the a grammatically incorrect sentence. And it's so frustrating because back then I'd be like, I did the treatment the patient needed. Now you're telling me because I didn't structure a certain paragraph a proper way, you're not going to pay our company for it. Yeah, it's
yeah,
extremely frustrating.
that's exactly what happens. But yeah, so we're always looking at new products. Work closely with a lot of manufacturers around the country. So anytime we get something new, we get it out, we test it clinically, and if we get good feedback, we add it to our product portfolio, and that's what we keep hunting after, and we'll keep doing it the rest of the year.
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, Kevin, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing lots of great tips and insights with our listeners. If people wanted to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Honestly, I don't mind giving my number out because it's the easiest way.
Okay.
214-773-5410 is my direct number. And people are welcome to text or call and just reference your show here, and happy to answer any questions. And like I said, I'm passionate about helping people. So if there's anything I can do to help them in their journey career wise, absolutely happy to do it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And everyone, thanks for listening. Be sure to like and share. Kevin, I appreciate you joining. Great information. Love hearing what you're doing.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Nick. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks for listening to the Flex Forward podcast. If you've got grit, growth, and a great story, visit flexforwardpodcast.com/guest to apply and join us on the show.